Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nareen's Live with MS. I am Nareen, and it is time for Hump Day Hurdles. So, this Hump Day Hurdles, I, thought long and hard about, what hurdle is really hurdling me today. And it just, uh, a certain incident that happened yesterday did come to mind. And I think I've talked about it to some extent because, it can be a little bit of a lot of things put together. And at the same time, it could be something that might seem different. I will let you be the judge and definitely do give in your inputs, your insights in the comment section so that, we can start the conversation. So with that being said, here's what happened yesterday. So I was wearing the only footwear that I actually find comfortable nowadays, which are Crocs. So I was wearing Crocs in the house and I was walking or shuffling my legs forward is a better way to say it because I was a little tired towards the end. Now, before I get on to the actual incident as it happened, Crocs. Normally, I actually walk barefoot at home. I feel like that is the easiest to do. I don't like wearing footwear. I don't wear sandals or slippers or anything for that matter. Normally, because I have a tendency to slip in them or I have a tendency to, just stumble while wearing footwear. The good thing about Crocs is, because they do have something that, holds your leg in place in the footwear, I am a little more comfortable wearing it. But the one thing I do know is that Crocs, because they do have, that plasticky rubber sole, it tends to, get stuck. It tends to generate a little bit of friction, especially when, your legs are more in that shuffle mode rather than, you know, picking it up and walk and like taking a step forward. So that is what pretty much ended up happening, where I tried to lift my leg and take a step, and instead of that, I had a lot of forward momentum going for me, and so I practically fell over. Now the good thing is I didn't fall, right? I was in the process of falling, but thankfully, because I was walking right next to um, a sofa, I was able to hold on to the sofa and pretty much stop myself from actually hitting the ground. I still made a little bit of sound when I kind of made contact with the sofa, though, the armrest at least. And funnily enough, so I actually had my parents. So my dad, I'd say, was maybe about 7 feet away. My mom was maybe 8 feet away. My mom was in view of me walking while my dad was in another room. So when I did fall and I did catch myself, I did make a sound. So my dad heard it and he asked what was going on, while my mom also made a reaction, right, made a sound to show she reacted. But of course, because nothing happened, because I didn't fall, I just kind of laughed it off as being really nothing. But it did get me thinking because, when I do wear Crocs, and I'm very happy in wearing Crocs, sometimes I do see that, there is a bit of friction, there is a bit of drag that tends to happen because my legs are sort of in a shuffle mode, right? They're shuffling more than picking themselves up, taking a step. And as a result of that, there's, generally when these kinds of things happen, I'm generally, tripping over, you can almost say tripping over my own feet. So I wanted to ask you, what is, your, uh, what would you say is a good way to, try and prevent more events like this from happening? I know I might have discussed something like this maybe in a previous Hump Day Hurdle, uh, as far as I can remember, but because this is so fresh, this happened yesterday, a little over 24 hours ago, I do want your insights, I do want your inputs, and I definitely would want to know if you've experienced something similar and what you did to pretty much combat that, and how you at least got a little over, um, you know, falling, right? How you got over almost falling or catching yourself, or just the act of, shuffling your feet, because that is something that I also personally find very annoying, that, I'm not constantly walking on my 2 feet properly all the time. So definitely any insight that you might have, any inputs you might have, any experiences you might have will definitely help me become a better person, become a better walker, and definitely prevent such incidents from happening. So, with that being said, I want to wish you a good night. I hope you had a great hump day or Wednesday, and you're all set to, pretty much let the rest of the week roll over into the weekend. So, with that said, good night, everyone. I hope you have the best of dreams. And with that said, good night.